Welcome to the Monday Morning Marketing Podcast for all decision makers and action takers. Take it away, Esther.
Good morning and welcome to another episode of the Monday Morning Marketing Podcast. I have my words all over the place today because we are being joined by the one, the only, Mari Smith, premier Facebook marketing expert, aka the Queen of Facebook. Mari is joining us to talk about using AI in social media marketing, and we are beside ourselves with joy. Welcome, Mari.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm very happy to be here.
So, Mari, we met you years ago and you were, the queen of Facebook even back then. How did you niche down into Facebook to start with?
I would say it just really, Facebook found me. In the early 2000s, I was very involved in internet marketing. One of the first people to do like ebooks and e-courses. And I had two loves, and it was the internet and relationships. And I had kind of a side career as a relationship coach, and I had some information products around that. And then I was also in email marketing. We teach people how to write emails, how to get them opened, to put good calls to actions in. It was called Email That Sizzles. And I remember very, very clearly in around 2006, early 2007, a mentor of mine, I was at one of her masterminds, and she's like, Mari, you can't keep doing this two-lane thing. You got to pick one. And I'm like, no, I love the internet and I love people, relationships in online world. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, I had heard a little bit about Facebook, but it just basically landed in my lap. I had a friend that invited me to join it. A couple of friends had, but then there was like this app where you could take and teach courses. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to go and join this program, join the platform, and then go ahead and participate in this creating courses online, specifically around Facebook. So I joined it. I was actually May the 4th, Star Wars Day, May the 4th of 2007. And it was like all the angels were singing. I don't really feel like that about it now. It's like, it's changed days, right, for all of us.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, this is my two loves fused together. It's the internet and people, it's relationships in the online world. And so I just immediately got to task within the first few weeks of just grabbing everybody I could and evangelizing. Are you on Facebook? Are you on Facebook? Let me show you how. This was before ads, before groups, before business pages. This was only the old-fashioned profiles. This is before news feed. I mean, it's just was the kind of like a glorified, I wasn't glorified like LinkedIn, but obviously the main competitor at the time was MySpace. And I would just say to people, my head hurt every time I went to MySpace. So this, Facebook was quite refreshing. And so, yeah, it's not like I just decided to niche down. That's basically how it came about. And I just fell in love with it, took it and ran with it.
Brilliant.
Well, that was a while ago now, and you have established yourself as the premier go-to person for Facebook marketing, very much the queen of Facebook. But so much has changed. And where we are today now, we've got incredible capabilities using AI. Now, a lot of us, so a lot of the listeners are established marketers or business marketers, the self-employed business marketers. So they know that a lot of the tools they use already uses AI. But I don't think they understood the depth of the use of AI until ChatGPT. So how can we as marketers, especially the smaller businesses, employ AI properly in a marketing strategy today?
Melanie, I love that you used the word properly. I like to also say responsibly. Responsible AI use, transparent AI use, authentic AI use. It's deeply troubling me where we are right now. We're over 2 years in now of utilizing of Chat GPT blasting onto the scenes and having everybody realize that there's this thing called generative AI, which allows us to create and to iterate and to brainstorm and to have like this extension of ourselves, and like a second brain, if you will, and to train it to get to know us and know our voices. And of course, Meta, I'd be remiss if we didn't mention Meta AI. And
Mm.
people in various countries around the world, it's not necessarily rolled out in every single country yet, but people can just go to meta.ai. But it's also baked into all of the Meta apps, Facebook, Instagram, Messenger, and WhatsApp, and also baked into the Meta Ads Manager. We can touch on that in a little bit. But at the top level, whatever your tool of choice, whether you're going to side by side compare Meta AI to ChatGPT, some people might like Google Gemini or Microsoft Copilot, whatever your AI assistant slash generative AI tool of choice is, there are certain approaches and strategies and use cases. So content creation, that's almost like a no-brainer. So coming up with good hooks. So let's say I would strongly recommend Reels, right? Reels are the thing on Facebook and it's certainly on Instagram. Excuse me. And it's basically Meta's answer to the TikTok videos. And TikTok really made those vertical short form, 30, 60 seconds, although they seem to all be growing in length. They're like competing for who can get longer. And I was like, wait, what happened to short form? But short form still very much works. And so let's say you're like, oh gosh, I turn the camera on. You can just turn your phone on and record them that way. But you're like, okay, what are some of the pain points? What are some of my audience's challenges that, I could really go deeper in and I could make these 30-second videos with? And you just kind of get stuck. You're looking at your blank screen. Well, hello, that's where a really brilliant use of, kind of like top level use for creating content in the first place is just putting in some good prompts and getting these tools to understand and know your audience. I think ChatGPT tends to do that really, really well. And you can say to it, all right, I'm going to have you create, 20 different hooks for 30-second Instagram reels. Here's a bit about my audience, but I want you to first start by asking me like 15 questions so that you understand what we're doing here and what my audience is and what my products and services are, and, what good calls to actions would be. So it's not a matter of just putting in like a 1 or 2 line prompt into the AI tool and voila, it's going to create content for you that you can just copy and paste right away. Bottom line, too, I know we can talk quite a bit about this, and I'll stop in a minute. But I just wanted to say one more quick thing. I'm saying I call it. Somebody came up with the name of synthetic media. Synthetic media is basically anything that's created by AI, and so we're seeing an awful lot of images, and now more and more we're going to see video, and video with quote real people going by in our feeds. And this is where it really gets me in the stomach, because I'm like, you need to put a disclaimer. You need to say, I used AI to create this. And to their credit, Meta does give you that option to put the wee label on it. And actually, if you create an image in Meta AI, it automatically puts a watermark on it. I think those things should be industry standard, right? Watermarks and labels. And so, yeah.
No, I couldn't
Yeah.
agree with you more there. There's far too much of the sort of impostering happening without our knowing. So,
Yeah, and it takes away the authenticity
yeah,
that you
totally.
Yes,
need,
exactly. Yeah, it's funny because I've been saying that authenticity is making a comeback, because at the beginning of our chat here, I was talking about like the early days of social media. Authenticity was all, and then it's like, wait a minute, authenticity is show me what you had for breakfast. I really don't care. And so the word got kind of diluted, right?
Oh,
But
yeah.
now it's like, oh, that's the antidote to synthetic media, is this authentic, real people. The three of us are right here live, real time, recording this video, audio, and there's no clones here. I don't think, anyway. This is the real
No.
me.
It's the real me as well.
So, Mari, just a quick follow-up question to that particular topic, and I'm glad you actually segued onto it, was about the intelligence of AI and using it for ads, and entrusting it to find your audience, select the topics that they're interested in, right down to locations, genders. Are we becoming slightly too reliant on AI? Are we giving it too much power when it comes to managing our marketing, or is it really the best way?
I have to give you kind of a qualified answer to that because I actually was recently speaking directly with Meta. I work with some of their ads teams, and they're really on a mission to get more and more businesses and marketers and advertisers to understand the power of what's already baked into the Meta Ads Manager. And so, for example, one of my favorite things is some of the things we're just talking about that you can do with ChatGPT and Meta AI and so forth is like headline generation. So you can just give a couple of keywords, and right inside of Ads Manager, you're going to write your ad and you're telling it a couple of things of what you're going to talk about or what the ad's about, and it will go poof, instantaneously. It's going to give you a whole bunch of other options. And that's
Mm.
for the headline, for the primary text. And then when it comes to the images, now I like that Meta has done this so far. We'll see as of time of this recording, so far, you cannot actually generate a fresh image right inside of Meta Ads Manager. So even though they could flip a switch, I'm sure, and then just bring their image generator right into Ads Manager, what you can do though is you can enhance your own image, right? You can upload an image. So it works really well for product-based businesses. Let's say you've got this beautiful, faux leather or suede or whatever sofa, sectional, and then you can just tap the button and Meta will give it to you in all kinds of different backgrounds, or whatever your product is. You can have different backgrounds. Then you can add a little bit of animation if you wanted to. So I think those things are great. But to the very point that you just made a second ago, Melanie, it's about, are we over reliant, and about utilizing the AI powered tools to basically find our audiences. That's called the Advantage Plus audience. Anytime you see the Advantage with the wee plus sign after it, that's Meta's AI aspects of everything.
Mm.
Ads Manager. So there's the creative side, there's the placement. I think the placements is fine. Yeah, they know, better than us probably of where
Mm.
the best placements are. And of course, it goes by inventory, what's available. But the part that I think the jury's out still for a lot of advertisers is, can we totally hands off the steering wheel and trust that Meta is really truly going to find our ideal audience? And I've spoken in my Social Scoop Facebook group with thousands of social media professionals about this very feature. Some of them are like, "Oh my God, it's amazing. I got an improvement in my ROAS, return on ad spend, of course." And others are like, "Oh, it was dreadful. It got the wrong people." And I was like, "Whoa, okay, this thing is
Mm.
maybe not ready for prime time." So I think in summary, that yes, keep dabbling, keep testing, put nominal budgets onto seeing how far you can go down the rabbit hole with trusting the
Mm.
AI aspect of the ad, especially because you're investing your money. But keep a very close eye on your metrics of how it's performing and targeting and whatnot.
Yeah, you brought up a good point there about, you type in a couple of words and the Meta AI will generate the rest of it.
Yeah.
Does that open us up to repetitive, like all the ads looking the same, sounding the same? And again, going back to the authenticity,
Mm.
is there a way to, avoid looking and sounding like everybody else while still using the AI and it helping you to generate the best type of ad and the best, text around the ad, but without sounding like your competitor?
Yeah, that's a really good one, Esther. I think the bottom line is just please don't ever just go 100% verbatim with what the system is recommending, because is a really excellent question. There is definitely a possibility that the keywords that it draws from for you and your niche are very, very similar to a competitor. And so that's where it's so important for you to have like your own brand guidelines, your own already pre-written out, probably not necessarily used AI, but maybe enhanced with AI in terms of your messaging, your voice, the keywords you use, the kind of the tonality of it. And it obviously goes without saying things like fonts and colors and all that.
Mhm. Yeah.
So you're not just going to have yourself all over the place. But yeah, sounding like competitors, it's interesting when you look at ChatGPT in particular. I have noticed that coming up with content, which I don't personally do much of that. I'll come up. I use these AI tools for ideation,
Mm.
not necessarily coming up with verbatim content. But I have noticed that it tends to pick certain keywords, right? Like
Mhm.
unlock the secret. It's like, okay, everybody's talking about
Everyone.
unlock. It's like, oh, I guess that's a
And
chat GPT.
leveraging.
Yeah, there you go, leverage, right, right, exactly. So if we're paying close enough attention to like what other marketers are doing, and one also antidote to all of this is to just make it a point to consume other people's ads, and keep an eye on your competitors. And many years ago, I think that was one of the greatest new features that Facebook brought out, was the ability to go and see public facing what everybody is placing with their ads. You can check
Mhm.
anybody's ads, and not all the details, but certainly you can see the copy, the media, the headline, and all that. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so and you keep on. You're so good at this segueing, Lark. It's really funny. Um,
You'd think she's
so,
done this before.
um, so one of the things that you brought up was about the audience and how it's being selected by the AI, but
Yeah.
you can't actually see through the metrics how they picked those people, what pages they liked, what interests they shared. All you've pretty much got in the analytics is the top level stuff. So how
Mm.
can we learn from AI what they found worked or not if they don't tell us that information?
Yeah, they're entraining us to entrust them.
Hmm.
They're absolutely indoctrinating us to keep those hands off the steering wheel. They want us to just rely on doing the machine learning. And the one what was coming to me as you were asking that question there, Melanie, was that you will be able to tell by the conversions. So who's actually signing up, who's joining your email list, who's purchasing your products or services, and starting to see, whatever data you can collect on the first party. Excuse me, to be able to say, oh my gosh, I thought my average age was like, 40 to 55 females in a certain part of the US. And like, wow, oh my gosh, look at this. I've got this whole demographic over here, the 30 to 35 males in Australia. I don't just making it up, but it's like, oh my gosh, look at that. They're actually signing up for my program. Okay. I hadn't even thought that they would be necessarily a target. I have no idea. I just pulled that out of thin air as a random, really opposite example. But yeah, it's a very same technology that they use for the lookalike audiences, which we've had for years, right? You
Yeah.
Mm.
upload your audience. Hey, here's my best customers. Could you go find me more people like this? They'll never disclose what algorithms creates the lookalikes.
Mm.
Yeah.
Was kind of hoping you'd tell us.
Yeah. Hang on, I'll get Zach on the phone here.
Well, using AI in social media marketing, we've talked about, the using it as in ads. And obviously when you place an ad, it's because you want to grow, you want to sell, or you want to get more people, more eyes on your products and services.
Mm,
But how
mm,
else can we use AI to encourage growth
mm.
in our social media marketing?
Yeah, certainly chatbots is one aspect. Right now, to my knowledge, Meta's inbuilt chatbot is, and that's where people DM you on their Facebook page or an Instagram, and you have an automated response. And then more sophisticated, you can start getting into dialogue with them. And those are right now pretty much by third parties. ManyChat's one of the most popular, or customers.ai. My friend Larry started that company. But what's coming on the AI front, we'll see. As of time of this recording, it doesn't exist yet, but it's very much in the works. I know Zuckerberg and team are really working hard on what they're going to be calling the full-on, Meta AI assistant,
Mm.
and so that you can train it on your entire knowledge base, FAQs, customer service, and deploy that inside of your Messenger, WhatsApp, Instagram, and Threads, probably, to be able to do pre and and during and post sales service support. So helping people make buying decisions and then directing them to where they can buy, then following up with them. A lot of that can be automated. My deep concern, I wrote the book on relationship marketing a long time ago now,
Mhm.
2011 that came out. And that's so close to my heart. Is like we have to treat people like people. Do not go too crazy with your over automation
Yeah.
and AIifying. There is another use case of AI in groups, like the AI, or what do they call it, admin assist, and that's kind of AI powered, to make sure that you're getting the right people into the groups. You can do like automated invites, so everybody that likes or comments on your Facebook page, they got automatic invite to join your group. Then what else was I going to say? Oh, then there's some pushback about this use of AIs inside of Facebook groups. Not everybody has it yet. So again, this will be something that's coming. And from what I've seen and heard of the folks that have chosen to enable it in their group, it can go totally rogue. It can like, because it's supposed to, the idea is it's finding answers to questions based on past posts.
Hmm.
So, but that doesn't necessarily answer your question about growth. But it could, like, if a group is really, really well run, people are getting their questions answered, they're more likely to tell their friends, and Facebook's
Yep.
more likely to recommend the group too, and a really active group. So
Yeah. Well, all of that's coming in, is it going to make it easier for businesses to market, or is it going to take away, the whole AI is taking my job? Is it going to detract from marketing and just, well, the bot can do it, the AI can do it, so why do I need to hire somebody?
I think there is a lot of
Mm.
that. There is a lot of that. Why I don't need to hire someone. I'm seeing, even like yesterday, I watched a webinar which was really aimed at the enterprise corporate level. I like to keep my fingers in a lot of pies. So it's like my audience tends to be small to medium enterprise business, but also I've worked with numerous major brands too. So I keep my finger in the pulse. And there's definitely a combination of like the over automation, or not over, but like integrating automation and AI and generative AI and AI for customer support. But at any given second along the whole sequence or journey experience of the customer, is like they could just like raise their hand or press a button, go, "Hey, I'm
Mhm.
human. This thing is doing my head and it's leading me around in circles. It's giving me the wrong answer." It's like, or it keeps offering me this product that I already bought it, or whatever the situation. And at any given moment, there's a human there. At the same time, yeah, I think for content creation, ooh, I do feel for some folks' jobs, and then eventually strategy. You
Mm,
know, what's the guy's OpenAI founder of OpenAI?
I can't remember.
My brain just went flat out. Oh, well, we'll insert his name here. I know who it is. I can see him in my mind's eye. But he's absolutely declared in the last maybe 12 months or something, that within 5 years, all the things, the strategy, the like agencies, you name it, is all going to be able to be outsourced to these agents. Sam
Scary.
Altman. There you go, Sam Altman. It just was bothering me. I couldn't remember. Sorry, Sam, your name wasn't top of mind this morning. He's a genius, but I don't know.
Yeah.
These big tech companies are sure duking it out to jockey for position to be the top AI companies.
Yeah.
So I've got to ask. You mentioned ManyChat, which immediately made me think, website integrated. Then we've got Pixels, which are website integrated products.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
you think there's going to be other products, other integrations that's going to come about from Meta in different forms?
I loved their chat integration. So, and I would put it on all my sales pages and my courses, and it would help with conversions because you've got this little bubble, this pop up chat bubble in the bottom right of your screen. And they, over the years, it was that you had to be logged into Facebook to be able to chat, and it initiates a messenger chat inside of your business page messenger. Then they changed it where anybody could, like, you didn't have to have a login, so like anonymously chatting. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, disappeared. It vanished. They
Mm,
they just cut it off. And I honestly, at this stage, I'm not quite sure. My best educated guess is because of what I mentioned a little bit a minute ago is about this Meta AI assistant coming, and I would imagine that that is going to have a fee. They've done an
All right.
awful lot so far for free with Meta AI, and of course, not to mention they've got this whole other revenue stream for the Meta Verified, which started at like $15 a month per Facebook per Instagram account, and then all of a sudden, and within the last, whatever, certainly within the last year, 6 months, whatever, they introduced these crazy high levels, like $500 a month. And I'm like, is there anybody out there paying that? So my point, I'm segueing all over the place here to like the financial aspect. So yes, we're going to have a lot more AI integrations was the word you used, Melanie, for the websites, I would think, and into our pages, certainly also into Meta Business Suite, because my prediction is we're just going to be able to go to Meta Business Suite, press a few buttons, poof, it makes the content, it schedules the content, it creates the videos. I mean, they've got that movie gen AI. Oh my God, that is so sophisticated. It's you've got OpenAI's Sora for making movies, and now what Zuckerberg's a $1 trillion company, right? Zuckerberg, Meta is a $1 trillion company. They got so much money. They're absolutely going to be one of the biggest players in all things AI, not just social media. Not all things, but yeah. So being able to make these videos and maybe I don't know. Look out Hollywood.
Wow. It's futurist Mari Smith.
Yeah. Well, we got to stay grounded in the now and coming back to that authentic human to human connection, and don't
Yeah.
go too crazy with your overuse of AI. There's a lot of early adopters, many of whom are my peers in this industry. I'm hanging back. I call myself an early adopter, but I will never be the first in line because I'm such an investigator and I'm such an experimenter, and I go deep down the rabbit holes and I test and I iterate. Then I come out and go, okay, this is what I'm doing. And I haven't reached that point yet. It's been
Yeah.
2 years of Chat GPT and I'm still like, okay.
We're still dipping our toes in the water, but
Yeah.
like you said, there's just so much to it, and there's so many different avenues that we can go down with AI. It's such a huge topic, and we've literally only scraped the surface
Yeah.
today, but
Pretty much.
we're very aware, Mary, that your time is precious, and we're so thankful to have you here with us today. How can people learn more about the one and only Mary Smith?
Oh, well, certainly on social media, Facebook. And then if you go to my Facebook page, which is just Mari Smith, then you'll find my group, which is Social Scoop. Excuse me, the Mari Smith Social Scoop group. And that's my 26,000 members, and a tremendous source of social media news and support and peer support and access to me. So that's a good place. Otherwise, any of my socials or marismith.com, or just Google me. Or wait, ChatGPT has its new search, so maybe just ChatGPT me. It doesn't roll off the tongue
No.
as well as Google me, does
It
it?
really doesn't, no.
No.
Or you could contact us because, we have an in now.
Yeah, there you go. Reach out to Melanie and Esther. You can be my gatekeepers.
Oh, we're so honoured to have you here. Thank you for giving us your time. We are aware that you've got a busy day ahead, so we will let you go. But you heard it here first, guys. There is a lot coming up that is, hopefully going to be integrated into maybe our websites, into our social channels, and you need to keep an eye on Mari Smith. Well, that's all the time we have for now, but we'll be back again with another podcast next week. Have a great week.
Bye.
Bye. So, Esther, that was quite a coup, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Mari Smith.
Quite a what?
Yeah,
Quite a
bit of
coup.
A
a
coup.
coup. Yeah, bit of a coup having you.
Well, I know you mean COUP, but in Scotland, a coup is a cow.
I know. We don't mean that version.
I know. That's where my mind went. I'm like, what'd you say? Oh, a coup. I know what you mean.
Oh my God.
That's funny,
That's
isn't
just
it?
a perfect blooper.
It's a good blooper. Well, because I'm from Scotland, right?